people, it's Michelle Edhouse here from Mickey Art, and today is the first time I have painted in nearly 4 months, I think. And I posted a video earlier in the week, or maybe last week, where I'm not sure when this will get dry and posted, explaining what's been up, what I've been doing. So go check that out if you want to know. But guess what? I'm gonna paint. I have, as I say, not painted for ages, and today's the day. The teddy bears have their picnic. So let's do it. And I was asking questions about what sort of painting I would like to do, and a flip and drag was what came up, but a funnel drag is actually what I'm going to do. Now, what's a funnel drag? It's kind of like a flip and drag, except you have a funnel and you drag the funnel around, so you have a space in your world. You have, anyway, I'll show you. Let's do it, because I can. First thing we're going to do is put a base coat of paint down. For those of you who are new to my channel, I use a house paint called Spring, which I get from Bunnings. It's extremely cheap. I'm here in New Zealand, so I believe the same brand is available in Australia if you are over that way, but I have no idea what an equivalent would be in the States or the UK kind of areas in Europe. But I know that there are other YouTubers out there that are in those areas that you could track down and see what they use for this sort of thing. I'm always one for wanting to use up scraps, hence I don't like a lot of wastage of paint. You will notice that I use recycled containers and all sorts of other things for mixing up my paint. I don't choose to do the whole brand new cups for a repour. I'm just gonna see if I can get some of that back into the container, because I don't need any of that. Just, there we go. All right, so now we've got a covering of paint, and you saw how runny that was. My paint, as I say, I use the Spring paint, and I mix it. I do have a video somewhere on the channel how I mix my white, but it's pretty much half paint, a quarter water, a quarter PVA, no, quarter Floetrol, sorry, and then a big dollop of PVA glue, or white school glue, whatever you call it in your country. Cool. So till it's runny. So let me show you what it's like. It's if I can get the camera. Can you see that? See how it just runs off in a nice thin stream? And it hardly stays sitting on the surface for very long. It doesn't pile up much. It disappears pretty quick. So if that hopefully gives you an indication. Hello fly, you're not welcome in my studio. So I'm only going to do 2 colours today. 2 colours. And they are phthalo blue and gold. And I have got my silicone. So this is, as you can see, a personal silicone, but it's 100% dimethicone. That's why I choose it. I'm finding it's harder and harder to find in the shops these days. I think they're phasing it out. Maybe there's been too many people going, it's not natural. No, it's not. So just a couple of drips of that into probably, what would that be? 30 ml, an ounce of paint. And just stir it really, really well. Not emulsifying, but stir well, just so that you don't end up with big lumps. Now, I don't want a lot of paint on here, coloured paint. I want a lot of clear space, and I want just that sweet, sweet possibility of colour with the silicone to give us the cells. So what I'm going to, this has got a slight angle on it, so I'm going to put that down on an angle, so just so that you know. Somebody remind me to zoom back out again when I finish doing this. And I'm just going to put a bit of gold on that side and a bit of blue on that side, so that hopefully they run. Uh-oh, I dripped on the painting. That's not a good thing. Did it again. So we've got some combo, some mix, and guess where I'm going to have to drag? Through those drips. Whoops. It's escaping. Okay, who knows? Is that enough? Am I going to have to redo it? This is always the fun part. Let's see. Is there actually enough in there to do anything? This, if any of you remember, this is how I did the lady's face. And it was really controlled, and I think I've just not got enough paint on there, to be really honest, is what's going on. So I'm gonna do a bit more, and I'm gonna fill it up over here. Just gonna, a bit more paint. Now the plan of attack with this kind of painting is to keep your nozzle under the white paint. Ooh, that's a bit funkier. Then when the silicone rises, it comes up through the white paint and makes stuff. So if you're new to this style of painting, I've now got a little flame torch, a little butane, and you're keeping the flame off the paint and keeping it moving, so all you're doing is warming the paint, which kind of liquefies it a little bit more and lets that silicone rise to the top. If you get too close, you can burn the paint, which is only a problem if you don't have a lot of paint, and then it becomes a problem. So as you can see, we've got some yummies, and I'm just gonna, somebody out there's going, she doesn't like it, she doesn't like it. And you're right, I don't. Ugh. I don't like it at all. I don't know what I was doing. Okay, let's get those out of the way. Let's add a bit of white. Now, once you start adding colour, you can't tip it back into the pot, but you can run it around, get the whole canvas covered again. Don't want that over the side. Oh, it went over the side anyway. Okay. You can see there's a huge amount of colour underneath the white, and that's the fun part. You can pick some of that up. Drag that down. And back. To there. Alright. So, right now we just look like we've got this little wispy mess, really. And this is where we go, okay, is there any silicone in there? Let's have a look. Where did our silicone go? Is it in there? Hello? Is it me you're looking for? I've got paint all over my coffee cup. In my coffee cup. So I haven't added any more paint, just what was still in there. I'm just following those flow lines. Ooh. Almost looks like a scary face. I'm not loving it, guys. I might have to add a bit more colour. and see. All right. So I'm gonna reload my funnel for the third time. Layering my colours. And I'm going to drop it down into there. Okay. Just going to pop a little bit more paint around the edges for flood control. Now, some of you are amazing and have watched my videos for years and know that often I will do this and all of a sudden the world comes together and I'm like, oh my goodness, look how beautiful this is. And on the rare occasion I will try and try and try again and come to the conclusion in the end that no, it is not happening, and I quit. But I think I've probably done, out of like the 700 videos I have on my channel, probably 4 of those are where I've quit. And I post all my paintings, so I think that's a pretty good ratio, really. Where's my heat gun? You can see the silicone starting to come up in those little swirls, and some of the non-swirls. Okay. Let's just take that over the corner. And we're going to go right over to the other corner. And then I'm going to pick up some of this paint and put it over here. Some of the stuff that's just all dripped off just now. And then take it to that corner. Yep. And then before we go any further, or as it's going further, let's see if stretching it has revealed any more silicone that wants to now come up and play. And I'm going to bring it back. And there is so little gold in there, it's not funny. So I'm just going to fill this up with gold. Drain it down the side so it grabs some of the blue to come with it. And just put one dollop of blue on the top. I don't love it. What's going on here, guys? Who's jinxing me? Am I jinxing me? What do you reckon? One of the problems when you start off and you start scraping like this, you can end up getting stuff in your paint, and then you end up with not so pretty bits that slide around. Now, why am I putting the paint up, touching the other paint? Because it helps to drag it down. Hey, they look like dolphins. Do you reckon? Dolphins diving? Okay. Let's try something else. I'm going to do a flip cup. This cup's actually clean. I know it doesn't look it. Let's put a touch of white in the bottom. I've got dirty as hands. There's Ag! And I'm going to grab some of the runoff. And I've got such slippery hands. Ready, set. Just going to let that seep for a little bit, drain down. Look at the cup. That's pretty. The cup's pretty. Look at all that silicone in there. That's pretty. Ugh. There she blows. Well, I think I jinxed it. We got it. It is not happening. I'm going to run out of gas in my torch if I keep going. Okay, I have one more trick, because there is a lot of colour in under there. I'm going to just rinse my hands. Oh, look how pretty my finger is. I'm just going to let that sit while I just clean some of the stuff off my hands. Spreading, that's good. Right, now, some of you have seen me do this before. This is where you put a drop of silicone on clean fingers and then just start flicking. And the silicone pushes that top layer away. And you start to see some of those other colours coming through. Can you see how much has changed? Like, and then you get the torch and say, silicone, spread wider. Now I got this inspiration from those beautiful people that like put toothpicks into their silicone and then dip it, or combs and things. And I'm far too impatient for that. Now, I feel like it needs something else, but not much. Like, super close. Just a couple of little love hearts. And when those love hearts, those drops have been made by silicone, if you then run that over their tail, they can sometimes give you, there you go, a couple of little funky bits, funky donkeys. I like it that way. These ones here look like pomegranate seeds. This looks like a big fish coming in to feed, and then these ones are the little fishies going, oh, quick, run away. I'm going to bring you down and show you some of these. Some of these are really quite funky. Not really surprising considering how many layers of paint's in them. It's just... okay. Check those out. These ones are cool. I really like them. So there we go. Let's leave it to dry, and I'll be back once it is dry to show you the end result. Well, it's all nice and dry, and it hasn't changed much, which tends to be the case when you have a flat surface and your paint's not so runny it just is like water. I really quite like it. It's got enough gold to give it a bit of a interesting fleck to it, but not so much that it takes over. And there's so many different possibilities that you could look at it from. I really like it. It's definitely funky and different. So there you go. The other thing that I think is quite funky is what's left on the table. I didn't clean up after myself when I left. I just put the heater on and tutu'd off. And because I know this paint, I know that it will peel up quite nicely as long as it's completely dry. So I'm going to leave it a little bit longer because there's a couple of places that I really like. One of them is that it's just weird, but I just spotted this little bit here and I just think it looks like some oh, hold on, let me turn it around so you'll actually see it the right way. So where's my finger? There. This is the head, and this is the flourishing collar of the elegant lady with her swishing hips. Either that or it's a really funky blown glass vase and a weird little bobble thing in it, or even a funky glass like perfume jar. Do you see what I mean? Is that making sense to any of you? I really like it. I think it's cool. So yeah, anyway, I'm quite pleased with it. I'm quite happy with it. I like it the way it is. And yeah, do you like it? Would it look funky on your bedroom wall? I like it. Let's see what else I've done with it. Alright guys, thanks so much for joining me on this first video back. I've been so grateful for all the comments that you guys have made on my Where's Mickey Bean video. So glad to hear that you guys are all doing well and seeing so many happy comments, and I look forward to playing with you some more soon. Alright, big hugs, talk to you soon, bye.